dear beloved students, I am Dr. Abhijit Majumdar, working as Professor and Director of Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pharmacy Institute, Greater Noida. Now, today we will be continuing our study on the subject of pharmaceutical marketing management, which is a part of your B.Pharm final year syllabus, and today we are starting with unit number 4. Now, in the previous classes, let us just a sort of a quick recapitulation of what we have studied in the past. We have studied what marketing is, what is the difference between sales and marketing, and in that context, we have studied about the 4 P's of management. Then 4 P's of, in fact, to be more specific, 4 P's of marketing management, which we are calling as a marketing mix. And in that 4 P, we have already covered about the product, we have already covered about the place and the promotion. Now, we will today in our class, we will be mainly focusing on what are the various avenues, what are the various channels through which the product is reaching the final customers. What are the process or what are the channels which a particular business house commonly use to send their product from the area of production to the final area of the customers. Now, this channel in technical terms we are calling as marketing channels. Therefore, we can say marketing channel acts as a bridge between the producer and the users, that is the customer. It is a sort of a bond, it is a sort of a link, it is a sort of a bridge which takes place between the two parties, the one the producer and the other one the final consumer or the users. W. L. Stanton defines channels of distribution as the route taken by the title of goods as they move from the producer to the ultimate consumers or the industrial users. That is, it is basically the route, the process, the channel which is followed when the good is coming from the producer to the customer or the industrial user. We have 2 more definitions which has been put forward by Phillips Kotler and McCarthy. Phillips Kotler defined marketing channel as in this process. Every producer seeks to link together the set of marketing intermediaries whom they are calling as marketing channel, or they are calling as trade channel, or they are calling all channel of distribution. That is, it is a process by which the producer link together the set of marketing intermediaries. That is, it is the link between the producer and the marketing intermediaries whom Phillips Kotler is defining as marketing channels or trade channels or channel of distribution. McCarthy defines this channel of distribution a little bit other way around. Any sequence of institution from the producer to the customers, including one or many middlemen, is called channel of distribution. There may be, see, there are various ways. In some situations where the producer directly supplies the item to the users, in certain cases the producer takes the help of a single middleman who supplies it to the users. In certain areas, you will find the producer takes the help of a wholesaler, the wholesaler give it to the retailer send it to the customer. So, there are various ways by which the title of the goods or the product flow from the area of production to the ultimate end users. Now, let us see what are the functions which these channels has to play. The functions mainly, first of all, is gathering of informations pertaining to the products, product in terms of the quality, what are the various promotional avenues the company offers. All these informations need to be provided to the customers. On the other hand, the feedback from the customers, what are the problems they are facing, what are their expectations, that information should flow from the customers to these intermediaries or the channel of distributions, ultimately to the producers, so that they will be in a position to make suitable rectification in the process to improve the product quality, to improve the image of the organization. The next important function which a channel of distribution has to play is motivating the customers. A constant motivation is required today in an area of fierce competition taking place across the market. Next is the bargaining with the suppliers, bargaining in terms of price, bargaining in terms of the quality. The next function is placing of orders. Whenever they require, they will have to place order to the producers, so that they will be in a position to produce the item and then give it to them. Next is financing, providing credit, getting credit from the manufacturing units or the companies itself. Next is inventory management, risk bearing, and most important, the after sale service. See, as we know in marketing, the foremost function is the customer's needs to be satisfied, and in order to bring about the satisfaction of the customers, after sale service or after sale support is of utmost priority. Now, there are processes where we are distributing the product directly through an intermediary. There may be 3-4 companies who are taking the help of a single intermediary, who are catering to the need of a large number of customers. That is what we are calling as direct distributions. In case of direct distribution, a common example is when we are selling a product through internet. The company directly gives the product to the end user. There is no intermediary as such. If the product is technically complex, where the company thinks that their product features may not be explained in a proper way to the customers, there may be a sort of a communication link breakage. So, what they do is they highlight all the product features on their internet website itself, which can be accessed by customers residing in the remotest part of the country, remotest part of the globe, and they can put the order online. In fact, as because there is no intermediary in between, the cost of the channel of distribution can be cut down to a very significant extent. Therefore, cost is a major consideration for any organization to adopt this mode. This is in fact one of the cheapest process by which the product can flow from the producer to the users. Let us see what are their examples. Examples of which you are seeing in your daily life, the petrol, diesel. The companies like Indian Oil Corporation, HP, BP, they are having their own outlets. Hindustan Petroleum, they are setting up various outlets at various areas just to serve the customers. There is no intermediary. Education, landline phone connection, health services, various utilities like electricity, water. These are classic examples of the industries, the companies who are adopting this direct distribution as the channel of flow. Indraprastha Gas Limited, Noida Power Supply Corporation, they directly sent their product, whether it is in the form of petroleum gas, whether it is in the form of electricity, directly to the customer. There is no intermediary in between. Next is the other category, what we are calling as indirect distribution. Majority of the fast moving consumer good items companies, they follow this particular process. Here the goods flow, the goods move through a set of intermediaries. The intermediary has a the question is why? Why in the other case they go for a direct distribution, whereas in case of the fast moving consumer goods, they are taking the help of certain intermediaries. The only reason is, see, customer satisfaction is the prioritization nowadays. The intermediaries whom they are selecting, they are having a much better control, much better reach, much better accessibility to the customers. Therefore, the degree of satisfaction which can be produced to a customer will be much better if an organization is taking the help of these intermediaries. But the only aspect is the cost is high. The company has to bear the cost of these intermediaries. The cost of operations of an intermediary like a wholesaler or a retailer is to be shared with many businesses. Whatever the cost incurred, they will have to share. Examples: fast moving consumer good items, various pharmaceuticals. Whenever you are purchasing a tablet of paracetamol, you are taking it from the retail shop. Whenever you are purchasing a bottle of syrup, you are going to a medical shop to purchase. You are not going to a direct company to purchase. That company may be located far away at Ahmedabad or at Baroda or at Mumbai or at Calcutta or at Bangalore or at Baddi, wherever it is. It is not possible for you to go to the company to collect it out. It is the retailer, it is the wholesalers who are having a much better accessibility. They are helping you to get the product near your home. Another classic example is mobile. And the third example is an automobile sector. Say for example, you want to purchase an Honda Amaze car. You will directly go to a retail outlets of Honda, where you will be getting a complete information about their product. You will get a complete information of what promotional offers the company is giving. You will know about the price, and above all, they will provide you the complete after sale service after you are purchasing the product. So, the customer satisfaction, my dear, is to the maximum extent in this case of indirect distribution. So, marketing channel systems can be again divided into vertical, horizontal and multi-channel. Let us see one by one. Vertical. Various parties like producers, wholesalers and retailers act as a combined system to avoid conflict. Remember, you need to avoid the inter-channel conflict, otherwise your entire objective will be lost. The kind of cooperation that exists between the distribution channels that are available in various levels with different members working together for promoting the efficiency and the products gets inspected, credit can be provided to the customers and also the goods can be delivered to the customers. This is what the salient features of vertical marketing system, or commonly in other times you will find that this is known as VMS. It improves the operating efficiency as well as the marketing effectiveness. We are coming to what we are calling as corporate vertical marketing system. It brings all elements of distribution channel starting from the manufacturing to the stores under a single business ownership. It combines the successive stages of production and distribution under a single ownership or under a single umbrella. A classic example is Apple, the company which all of you know for its product like mobile, like laptop and so on. Apple, who is responsible for doing everything related to their product. This company has place for designing, also making their products. These products that are made by the company are sold in the retail shops of the company itself. You will not get here and there. Next, we are going on to administered vertical marketing system. One member from the production as well as the distribution chain has more dominance and they organize the whole nature that is associated with the vertical marketing system. In fact, it relies on one company in the chain being sufficiently large and secure or powerful enough that it can dictate the terms and conditions to the other member of the distribution channel. Next is contractual vertical marketing system. You have heard this in the name of franchisee. You have heard this in the name of franchisee, where this is the kind of vertical marketing system that has a formal agreement, involved in it that exists between the various levels of production, or it can be between the various levels of distribution. It is done for coordinating the overall process that is related to a particular company. In fact, there is a contract signed which we are calling as franchisee. The quality of the product needs to be maintained by the franchisee who is taking the franchising power of the company. Next, we are moving on to multi-channel distribution. In case of multi-channel distribution, the company uses different channels to reach the same or the different market segments. Most fast-moving consumer companies have separate networks for the retail market and the institutions. Say for example, pharmaceutical houses. They are using different channels to reach the doctors, to reach the chemist, to reach the hospitals, because in the hospitals there are doctors. So, what they do is they are taking the different channels to cater either to the same or to different market segments at the same time. Let us see what are the situations where this multi-channel distribution process is very common. They are used in situations where the same product, situation number 1, the same product have different market segments. The product is same, but the market segments are different. Second is, in the same market there exists an unrelated product. I have given one examples in the form of detergents as well as ice creams. The people who are taking ice creams, those same market segment, the same group of customers, they are using detergents to wash their clothes. Therefore, these two products absolutely unrelated. There is no relation between an ice cream and a detergent, but the consumer sector, the customer sector, they are same. The market is basically same. The size of the buyers varies. Multi-channel distribution is used where geographical concentration of the potential customers also varies. Some are located in the north, some located in the far south, some located in the east. Well, that is what I mean to say is accessibility becomes a little bit difficult where multi-channel systems are used. Now, there are three types of flow taking place. One is the forward flow, other one is the reverse flow, and other one is the two-way communication. Forward flow means the goods and products which a company is manufacturing, that is coming from the production house to the customer. So, we are calling it to be as a forward flow. Now, when the good is coming, automatically the payment has to be made. The payment is coming from the customers or the users to the company. Sometimes if the goods are not proper, the goods are also returned back. That is what we are calling as a backward flow. And the third is the flow in which is taking place in both directions. You will be surprised to know this both way communication is nothing but the flow of information, the communication which takes place. Communication is done by the company to the customers providing feedback, customers telling their problems to the company. So, the flow of information is both ways. So, in forward flow it is the goods and service, backward flow the company payment, or sometimes the return goods, and both ways are the informations. See, this is a pictorial way of looking at things. Forward, the goods are coming, payment going backward direction. So, this side is the company, this side is the customers. So, from customers, if it either the goods for the payments, or if the item is not correct, they are returning, that is the backward flow. From company, the product is coming in the forward direction, information traveling in both directions. Whether it is coming to from this to this, these two arrows shows that the information is flowing in both ways. Channel flow, physical flow of goods, payment, information as well as promotion. Some channel members have to perform them. There is a cost associated with each flow. If a channel member is discontinued, the flow must continue to flow. All flows and transactions can be effectively done in an accurate manner in a very timely way. The channel flow is ideally to be handled by the most competent channel member who can deliver the best cost at the lowest cost. The degree of involvement, the physical title ownership, this is the way. Now, some channels are producer driven, some channels are seller driven, some channels are service driven, and some are others. It is where the product directly goes from the manufacturer to the end user, we call it as a zero level. When it is coming via retailer, we call it as a one level, and when it is coming by a wholesaler as well as a retailer, we are calling it as a two-way channel. Zero level, if the producer of the product or service is provided directly to the end user by the company, one level, one intermediary, two levels, particularly for the fast moving consumer goods. Now, whenever we are designing the marketing channel, we need to analyze the customer needs, we need to establish the channel objectives, we need to identify the major channel alternatives, and we need to evaluate each of the channel alternatives. Whenever we are talking in terms of the customer needs, we need to analyze it in the 5 different segments: the number of units that a channel allowed to be handled at a point of time, the average time the customer needs to wait, the extent to which the marketing channel facilitate the customer to get a product, varieties produced by a channel, and various services, after sale services which are produced. The next is establishing objectives and constraints, that is followed by identification of the major channel alternatives, the types of available intermediaries, the number of intermediaries available, and the responsibilities and role they play. The companies can adopt any of the 3 processes, either an exclusive distribution where they keep it limited to a restricted number of intermediaries. Selective distribution depends on more than a few, but less than the number of intermediaries willing to carry out the particular product. And the third alternative which is available is go for an intensive distribution channels. And then there need to be evaluation. Whenever the company needs to evaluate in terms of suitable economic process, the control and adaptive criteria, the firm should verify whether its own sales force will create better sales and estimate the cost of selling the different quantities to a channel. That means, the firm has to first of all see that if they go for with their own sales force, whether the effectivity is more. If it is more, they will go for it. If they are find that if they are going for their own sales force, the effectivity will not be so much, then they will have to go for the various channels. With this, I am coming to the end of my class today. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.